Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats. Direct from Glasgow, Frankie Boyle. Funny man, Alan Carr. And their captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, from the Friday Night Project, Rob Rouse. Lovable scamp, Ian Lee. And their captain, Sean Locke. Now, go crazy for your host, Jimmy Carr.
Good evening and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 1 in 20 people think that Conan the Barbarian is a real character? Does Professor Dumbledore not teach them anything? 1 in 10 women in the UK has a sexually transmitted disease. I like those odds. And 1 in 5 drivers don't understand road signs. This means you've cut me up. Let's get started. We're kicking off with the What's the Poll round. I'm going to show you 5 people who are all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me, what's the poll? OK, here is your first clip.
And I don't want to be emotional, but it's one of the greatest moments in my life.
Hey.
That was very much the high point of Nelson Mandela's career there, meeting the Spice Girls. What poll do you think Nelson Mandela might have appeared on?
Is it people who still don't see the funny side of the show Porridge?
Sadly, no.
Is it people who've never appeared on Through the Keyhole?
So, is it people who've inspired classic wrestling moves?
Is it a poll of people you can't really take the piss out of?
He's got a funny voice, though. We can laugh at that, can't we?
Well, you can, but if you've got any dignity or self-respect, you wouldn't.
He's got a funny voice, though, hasn't he? Is it people who used to have the first name free?
Is it people whose names are rhyming slang for drinks? Nelson Mandela, Pint of Stella.
Isn't it quicker to just say Pint of Stella? Well, I it said Nelson Mandela, the bloke served someone else, isn't he?
Is it people, if they had extensions, they'd look like a really old Beyonce?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. 1 point.
OK, let's have a look at the next person.
Jesus loves us. I can feel it in the soles of my feet, flowing up through my spine, into my heart, all through my veins, surging through my blood. The love of Jesus is quivering at my fingertips like electricity. Who will share it with me? Who wants to feel the love of Jesus? Yes. Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes. Hugh Grant there, playing a Scottish evangelist in A Very Peculiar Practice from 1986. So, Nelson Mandela and Hugh Grant, what have they got in common? What poll might they have appeared on?
Is it a poll of people who've met Jerry Halliwell but had no idea who she was?
Is it famous BMW drivers? Because I know Nelson, he bought one because he wanted the extra leg room, and you got one for the extra headroom.
Has Hugh Grant got a lot of community centres named after him? Is that a possibility? Am I close? I mean, we're working here. You're not even helping us.
You're kind of... We've touched along the right lines, but I'll show you someone else.
Hello, Moira. Hello. Well done. Well, thank you.
Yes.
Well, I expect you want to be on your homeward journey now. It's straight through here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. And I think it's time for us to go as well. Hope you'll join us again next week for some more adventures. Until then...
That was Moira Stewart hosting the Adventure Game from 1980. Moira Stewart, Hugh Grant and Nelson Mandela. What poll do you think they might have appeared on?
Is it people who can remember exactly where they were when Nelson Mandela was released from prison?
Does she still read the news, Moira Stewart? Because I quite miss her.
She gets a paper some days, yeah.
She's a proper newsreader, though, isn't she? She's a journalist.
Yeah.
Right, as opposed to Kaplinsky. I hate... Natasha Kaplinsky, to me, looks like a businessman's wife. Like a journalist, you know. I want my news read by someone who, if they entered a ballroom dancing competition, would definitely lose.
Kaplinsky also sounds like a kind of maverick New York cop that doesn't play by the rules to me.
Kaplinsky, put those donuts down and solve the case!
Is it something to do with, like, mumbling? Because she mumbled, hello, I'm Morris Stewart. And he's like, hello, I'm English, and then Nelson sounds a bit as if he's still behind the brick wall.
I would say no. You're along the right lines there, but I'll show you another one.
Why is it taking so long? Why haven't you been back here to...
So where were you 12 years ago? What were you doing?
School. At school, yeah.
High school. I've been working my ass off and you're at school. Terrific. You question me why I wasn't here? I've been all over the world working my ass off and you've done nothing. I'm underwriting you. Do you know that?
Oh. Sean Connery there getting grumpy with a journalist at a film premiere. At 74, Sean Connery now has a whole new range of gadgets. Pay attention, Bond. This isn't a normal bath. You can walk right in.
I like the fact that Sean Connery couldn't pronounce the word arse. I think he's got a great voice for swearing. Push flaps.
He does have an incredible ability with accent, Sean Connery. The end of is it the end of Highlander 2? A very popular film, I'm sure. When he comes in at the end and says, "Hello, my name is Juan Carlos from Spain." No.
Is it people who look like people out of Police Academy? Nelson Mandela looks like Hightower. She looks like, it's a stick-up. Do you remember that one? And Hugh Grant's the one who makes those noises. Game over. And even though he's white and the man was black.
Sadly, no. Right, let's have a look at your final person. That's Ronan Keating there on Ireland's Late Late Show, presumably doing some sort of gay exchange ad.
Is it to do with accents? They've all got a really quite an attractive-ish accent that, you know...
Moira?
Yeah, Moira. Yeah.
Oh, good night. Well, I was wearing a gimp mask. Good night.
You were going to eat your words, Alan Carr, because Dave Spikey, you're absolutely right.
Oh.
They've all appeared on a survey of people with the most pleasant voices. It's surprising how many people in the top 10 had regional accents. Of course, I don't have an accent. This is just how things sound when they're pronounced properly. So, at the end of that round, it's 0 points to Sean, Rob and Ian and 1 point to Dave, Frankie and Alan. The next round is called The Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Here's your first question. This is from an age concern study from January. 50% of the over 65s don't have a what?
Is it that 50% of over 65s don't have a real hip?
Is it 50% of over 65s don't have a clue why they went to the cupboard in the first place?
Is it 50% of over 65s don't have a chance against a panther?
Is it 50% of over 65s don't have a waist? As they get older, all men especially, the waist just get higher and higher, and the belt gets, the pants just get higher. 103, belt there, zip there. Hello, I'm 103.
And the only people I know, old people, they have trays over the bath. So they can organise the loofah and the soap, and it's all there. And then they need an emergency. There it is.
People still use loofahs. That's great, isn't it? That's an over 65 thing, a loofah, isn't it?
No, it's not. It cleans your back.
I know, they're great.
It's a young man's thing, I would have thought, the loofah, surely, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's a young man's thing. Yeah. A lot of the kids watching will be thinking, yeah, loofahs, yeah.
What is a loofah? What's a loofah?
Do you want to know?
That's a bloody funny
I
name.
know, because the worst Christmas present I ever got was a grow-your-own loofah kit.
Oh. That is quite bad, isn't it?
Whereabouts do loofahs live in the wild, then?
Underwater.
No, they don't. They grow on trees.
Is it like a sea cucumber when it's alive?
No, it grows on land. It grows on land. It's a vegetable.
And surely it's like a sponge and grows underwater, isn't it?
No, that's what I thought.
I disagree with you.
Yeah, but you don't know fucking everything, do you?
Well, I think there should be a gardener special on loofahs then, if that's the case.
That's loofahs grow on trees. They're like a gourd. They're like a gourd.
A good.
What's a good?
I can't believe I'm working with these botanical ignoramuses.
I've never seen a loofah tree. If there were loofah trees...
Of course you haven't seen...
Well, because they don't exist, that's why. If there were loofah trees, we'd know about them. They sound brilliant.
The reason you haven't seen one is because old people have taken them. Oh! I'll give you a clue. It's sort of about companionship.
That a partner?
Is it a best friend?
Best friend is the right answer. Oh, this is from a survey featured in the Daily Mail, March 2005. 86% of bosses feel that what is a disadvantage in business?
Is it 86% of bosses feel that speaking in riddles is a disadvantage in business? My first is in piano, but not in canoe. Would you like to invest in my shipping company, Jimmy?
Yes, I would.
It is in canoe, isn't it? It's like the look at your face when you went...
Is it incontinence? I know. Is it giving your firm one of them stupid punny names? That's a disadvantage. You know, like Specs in the City.
I saw one. They did haircuts and they had sunbeds, and it was called Tanzania.
Oh. The cleverest one's near the Tate Modern. Tate Modern. Have you seen it? That's clever, because that's like French. It's not funny, but it's clever, isn't it?
I think that would be an advantage in business because people are morons.
There's a great one in Bath, and it's a coffee shop, and they've got it slightly wrong because it's called Rhythm and Beans. If it was an off-line, it'd be Rhythm and Booze. Yeah, that's fine. But Rhythm and Beans, and you see people looking at it going.
There's a hairdresser near us, and the girl's called Valerie, and full march because it's called Val does her.
I can give you a clue.
Go on then.
It's you're sort of along the right lines when you said it was about how people speak.
Is it having a working class voice?
That's exactly the right answer. Oh. Yes, 86% of bosses feel that a working class accent is a disadvantage in business. I've done all right. Strike a light. OK, 25% of Brits find what helps them nod off.
Listening to Clanad on heroin?
To marzipan. My mummy was dyslexic, put to marzipan on our Christmas cake once.
A Bergerac box set.
Is it listening to your partner tell you about their day at work?
Is it nitrous oxide, anaesthesia? That'll help you nod off. Because I had anaesthesia, and you know when they say they give you the thing, the injection and the anaesthesia, and they go like, count backwards from 10, and you go 10, 9, 8, and then I heard somebody go, whoops, you don't want that, do you? You don't like your... What do you mean?
I shall tell you. 25% of Brits find that a bath helps them nod off. Oh. It is very dangerous to fall asleep in the bath. I keep myself awake by constantly making toast. So at the end of that round, it's 3 points for Sean's team and 5 points for Dave's team. Our next round is word association. We've polled the nation and asked people to give us the word or phrase that popped into their heads when we said the following things. OK, everyone, here's your first clip.
And here comes Alan Collier from Doncaster. His hobbies include Taekwondo, which is a form of the martial arts, a bit like karate. You do not argue with Alan Collier.
That was Alan Collier, winner of the 1980 Yorkshire Disco Dance Championships. What I'm looking for is the top 3 things the British public said when we said the 1980s.
Can I just say, isn't television shit nowadays? If that was on every channel, 24 hours a day, I'd have square eyes.
I like to have him in a snow shaker. just constantly dancing like that.
What must his life have been like in Yorkshire? The locals must have constantly been laying siege to his house like the end of Frankenstein or something. Kill the disco dancer.
He's just great, isn't he, Alan Collier?
Can we watch it again?
That's all right. Have another look.
And here comes Alan Collier from Doncaster. You do not argue with Alan Collier.
Not
only do you not argue with Alan Colley, you don't talk to him. You know?
Had he just come from the pits when he dressed like that? Do you reckon he talked like that? And he was like, fucking hell, zip.
Is this why they started closing down the mines? Because this is what they were getting up to.
Top 3 answers that the public most associated with the 1980s.
RGs.
Thatcher.
Yes, it is. Second most commonly associated phrase with the word or phrase with the 1980s.
Aha!
Do you mean the band, or have you just thought of something brilliant?
The band. Or, as they're known in more curious countries, aha!
I can't decide if it's Fame the Musical or the Iranian embassy siege.
You were quite close with Fame.
Leroy.
Leg warmers. Leg warmers. Yes, it was.
Wow.
You've still got to get the most commonly associated word with the 1980s.
The mullet. The mullets were big, weren't they?
I am going to give you that. Yes, the phrase most associated with the 1980s was bad hair. OK, here's your next one. That was, of course, the world-famous water-skiing monkeys of Japan to illustrate the word animals. Fingers on buzzers, what word or phrase did the nation most associate with animals?
You think they would have put those monkeys on those inflatable bananas? It would have looked more...
I think this is the new Neverland. Jackson's latest project.
The thing is, they wouldn't do it if they didn't like it.
Exactly.
They love it.
Yeah.
They've got the option to bail out and have a swim.
Well, since the PG Tips work dried up, you know, they're all working as reps now. I just don't know how a monkey is driving a speedboat. Because you can't trust a monkey. You can train it, you can never trust it.
Yeah. You speak from bitter experience,
Yes,
I imagine.
I do.
If they can send a monkey into space, surely this is nothing. Surely this is a step down for the boys.
It's just the monkeys at NASA pissing about on the day off.
They're having a bit of me time.
When we said animals, what do you think popped into the British public's minds?
Shagging. When I was a kid, dogs on our street, you couldn't go out in the street. They were just doing it, weren't they? Just pushing each other up and down the street. My mum told me they were dancing.
That story is both quaint and disgusting.
It is. And very unsettling, because the first school disco I went to, I got expelled. Is it super furry?
The number one answer was fur. OK, what other word would you associate with animals?
Shit.
You're absolutely right.
That never happened on Family Fortunes, did it?
What other word would you associate with animals? What are they? They're lovely.
Adorable.
Adorable is along the right line.
Lovable.
Friendly.
Cute. Cuddly.
Cute. Who said cute? You were right. So at the end of that round, I can tell you that Sean's team have 6 points and Dave's team have 11 points. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls, and it's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here is your first one. This is taken from a survey featured in The Independent, November 2004. The most annoying thing about a work colleague.
They're always going on about their fucking Blackberries. Who cares? It's just a little bit of plastic that does emails. I'm not bothered about it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I get my emails anywhere I go, so it's...
Is it sometimes that you do a panel show and the person in the middle refuses to wear trousers? It's not really like show, like that's abuse.
You used to work in a call centre, didn't you, remember?
Bartley card lost and stolen.
He's not lost, has he?
Still got it.
Was there no annoying habits there?
Yes, they had this one day we had to come in as a sports theme and no one could be bothered and we're going, who's going to fall for this shit? Just as our supervisor came round dressed as a jockey. And then you get 2 swear words said to you throughout the call. You have every right legally to terminate the call. So I used to egg them on. Can you speak up, you fat bitch?
OK, most annoying thing about a work colleague?
Or when they bring a baby in, when they just had a baby. And they bring a baby, I've got a baby. So what? I'm trying to work. I don't want to look at a baby. It's horrible. It's ugly. Oh, no, we're going to have a look. Touch my baby. They don't say that, actually.
There's always someone as well at work who comes in when they've got a day off. You know what I mean? Just to show what they look like in their jeans.
Most annoying thing about a work colleague, it's hygiene related.
BO, body odour.
Correct. Yes, the most annoying thing about a work colleague is body odour. I imagine it's particularly bad if you work in a sweatshop. OK, this is from a survey featured in The Times, July 2004. Greatest British Olympian.
Is it that one with the tash? Fatima Whitbread.
Is it Jeff Capes, the world's strongest man, and officially he still is, but he's so strong he's not allowed to enter anymore?
Do you know the thing about Jeff Capes, really interesting thing about him, is he keeps budgies. And you just imagine all that strength, and but he can pick up a little budgie. And then go...
He's had a checkered history, though, to be fair, Jeff. He used to work at the Yellow Pages factory, but he got sacked for destroying stock.
Why do they put that World's Strongest Man thing on at Christmas?
Fucking brilliant.
Well, it is, isn't it? It's load of shit, and it man pulling a mobile home, and from there to there. Why do they have it on?
A man lifting big round stone balls, and they get heavier, and he's got to put them up on a higher thing each time. That, to me, is genius.
They're not strong, they're just fat. Aren't they? They're just obese, and they should be the world's fattest That's what they should say.
This is Stephen Redgrave.
Steve Redgrave is number 2.
Is it Sebastian Coe?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Sebastian Coe.
well done.
This one's from a YouGov survey from April this year. Top female sexual fantasy. Ian Lee.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Apparently so. To be told they've got lovely boobs by a stranger. I don't know, a builder or something. They love it, don't they?
Is it, like, just something very simple, like maybe a phone call 3 days later?
Is it wearing a gimp mask and being pulled around on a chain like a dog? I mean, women aren't my strong point.
Top female sexual fantasy.
It's something romantic,
It's something
isn't it?
kind of nice.
Is it like roses?
I'm going to tell you, the top female sexual fantasy is sex with a regular partner. Well, ladies, I'm regular. Eat a lot of bran. Well, that sound tells me that it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means that the final scores are Sean's team have 9 points, but Dave is the winner with 13 points. Thank you to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats. Staying up late, it's Kate Garraway. Live from Glasgow, Frankie Boyle. And their captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, he's a celebrity, Rick Reed. The lovable Alan Carr. And their captain, Sean Locke. Now, make some noise for your host, Jimmy Carr.
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. This is interesting. The Bible is the world's most shoplifted book. To be fair, how are you meant to know you shouldn't steal it before you've read it? 14% of bosses think it's acceptable for potential employees to lie on their CVs. If Channel 4 bosses are watching this, I haven't got a GCSE in French, suckers. And the average marriage lasts 11 years. I imagine there are a few people at home right now thinking, yes, I'm marrying too. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellist job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. I'll give you the number 1 story. It's the London bombing arrests. But what else have people been talking about? Sean, your team to go first.
It's anything to do with the opening of the Easy Hotel. The EasyJet guy, he's gone into hotels now.
Who's this, Stelios?
Stelios, and he's opening an EasyJet hotel. It's only 20 quid a night to stay in London, but the rooms are bright orange. I don't...
In fact, they are oranges.
Yeah.
You have to burrow into them.
No, actually, they're not.
Aren't they? Well, I'm not staying then.
He's gone into hotels and he's spreading his empire. He's bringing the Easy brands to loads of different things. And I'm looking forward to the Easy Zoo. I think about very sort of low-rent crap where everything's orange. There's about 200 foxes and a pigeon that lives off Wotsits.
I can tell you that the opening of the Easy Hotel is not in the top 5.
Knew it.
Dave, your team, what have the nation been talking about this week?
I think they've been talking about the space shuttle with bits falling off it. I think it's 25 years old. What are they doing sending that up there? I've got a 15-year-old Caravanette. I wouldn't got Grange over Sands in it. You know what I mean?
It must have been quite worrying when George Bush comes up on the screen to talk to them. See, on re-entry, guys, could you possibly aim the craft at Iran?
The thing is, have you seen the crew? Eileen, she's called. She's commandant. She's Eileen Collins. She's a mobile hairdresser as well, obviously. Have you seen her hair, that Eileen? It's just like done. She thought, well, I've got to put that helmet on, so she's done her hair like that. It's just like.
Do you think she decided to be an astronaut when she was at the hairdressers in one of those things?
Right.
This is the look for me.
They're saying they've repaired the shuttle now, but, like, if you were on a plane and you just watched the pilot shin his way out along the wing with a hacksaw, and then he'd come in and go, oh, it's fine now, you'd be shitting yourself.
Well, let's have a look and see if it's in the top 5 talking points this week. Yes, it is. Yes, this is the story of the repairs being carried out on the space shuttle this week. Discovery will soon be returning to home base. Or if they're closed, they'll be nipping into B&Q. If all the people in China stood on each other's shoulders, they could reach the moon, which is not only an interesting fact, it's also the latest rescue plan. Sean, Vic and Alan, what else have the nation been talking about?
Is it Big Brother with Kinga coming down on a bottle? She did come down. I felt sorry for the bottle. I really did.
She'll not get much back on that at Threshers, will she?
She should have done us all a favour and stuck Eugene up, shouldn't she? What are you doing,
Is there any chance that she was just part of a recycling project? She's got, like, a paper compactor as well.
To be fair to her, Frankie, she was drunk. She'd had the best part of a bottle of wine inside her.
Listen, the freaks in there, it's like being locked on a night bus.
I saw it. I mean, it was an extraordinary incident, though, wasn't it?
They're always trying to outdo each other, and I just imagine when she stuck the bottle up, Makosi coming out with a fire hydrant going, let the games begin.
Well, let's have a look and see if Kinga's behaviour on Big Brother was one of the top 5 most talked about things. Yes, it was. Everyone's been talking about Big Brother this week, specifically Kinga pleasuring herself with a wine bottle. It was a Merlot. Anthony had a Semillon. I think it was just a misunderstanding. The bottle did say screw top. Over to you, Dave, to raise the tone. What else have the nation been talking about?
What do you think, team?
Oh, thongs, I think. But then maybe you haven't because you're all boys.
Oh, the demise of the thong.
The demise of the thong, yeah. Apparently we're not buying them anymore as girls. If you're a girl with a big bottom, it makes your bottom look smaller.
It doesn't make your bottom look smaller, it makes your bottom look naked with a rope up it.
I can tell you, thongs were not in the top 5. It was the story that sales of the thongs have fallen and they've gone out of fashion. For all the good they do you, you may as well stick them up your arse. Fingers on buzzers. Most talked about things this week.
Is it the Irish woman who's won 79 million on the lottery?
Dolores.
And now the world's kidnappers are having their own lottery to decide who gets to take her hostage first. If I was a kidnapper, I would actually be cutting out the letters from the ransom note from that story as I was reading it. Oh, we could use the L from lottery in kill. There we go.
That's a cheery take on the story.
And she's got the good fortune to live in Ireland where there's a lot of out-of-work terrorists looking for a pension plan.
Apparently they said to her, they said, well, you know, we can't pay it you all at once. You can have some now, and then some in 6 months, and then some in a year. And she went, oh, if you're going to piss about, give us my pound back.
Let's have a look and see if the Irish lottery win is in our top 5 most talked about stories. Yes, it is. Fingers on buzzers, what else is in the top 5?
A nice galleon.
Is there any more to that story?
Nope, that's it.
I'll have a check for you, Vic.
Story about the really nice galleon.
Yeah. Did you hear that one?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, the nice galleon didn't make it, but you know, thanks for playing along.
Pleasure.
Come on, one more thing to get. Fingers on buzzers.
Is it Tony Blair saying he's going to leave politics?
I asked him why he was giving up. He said, because the country is on its arse.
He's just bought a ghost train at a fun fair in Bridlington. He's going to run that instead. I heard.
Let's have a look and see if those rumours about Tony Blair quitting are in the top 5. Yes! There are rumours this week that Tony Blair is to stand down at the next election. He is set to make a fortune on the lecture circuit. Fair enough, he's got mouths to feed, one of which is enormous. Well, I can tell you at the end of that round that Sean, Vic and Alan have 2 points and Dave, Frankie and Kate have 2 points. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Dave's team, you're first. 62% of pupils believe that teachers what?
Shouldn't really be in the showers with them.
Is it that teachers is their preferred brand of whiskey?
He's from Glasgow.
Is it 62% of pupils believe that teachers are really good at teaching the maths and 80% think they're not great?
Is it 62% of pupils believe that teachers are mad as a buzz? Because I think we all had a mad teacher. We had an absolutely mental, mad teacher. I can't obviously tell you his name, but he was married to a woman called Mrs. Forsyth. He was mad because he used to, in the lesson, if you weren't paying attention, he'd say, right, I'm going to go and stand outside and I'm not coming back in until you behave. And we used to just go mad and he'd keep opening the door now and again going, I'm still here.
We used to have a teacher, he'd literally come in with a chainsaw and he'd take the heads of the
I'll give you a clue to this. It's how the teachers feel about their pupils.
They like to think they like them, don't they?
That is the right answer.
Oh.
Yes, 62% of pupils believe that teachers like them. That or they can't spell lick. Dave's team, 30% of Scottish women have what?
Been banned from Weatherspoons? Is it have appeared as extras in Bad Girls?
Is it I've breastfed in public? Only I went to school. A mate of mine, they come from Scotland. His mum was Scottish, obviously, more Aggie, something like that, I don't know. And she was still breastfeeding him at school when he was 5 at primary school. She used to come and do it through the railings. It's really funny. But the sad thing was, she was a real gossip, so if she saw somebody she knew at the other end at the playground there, she'd be off and he'd be like, ah.
Did you grow up in a cartoon?
Yeah.
Well, you were closest with the Weatherspoons guess. It's a type of crime.
Drunk and disorderly?
No.
Shoplifted alcohol.
Correct.
Really? There you go.
Yes, 30% of Scottish women have stolen alcohol. Sean's team, 16% of medical students have been what by nurses?
Injected by their ovipositors.
Yes, that's it. Moving on.
By the what? What was that?
Ovipositors.
Oh, right.
You know, the stem that injects the eggs into the host.
Yeah. And do you get the people doing that to lots of you, Vic? Going, yeah. Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, the galleon, yeah, brilliant.
It's something that you would normally associate with happening at school.
Teased. Bullied.
Correct. Dave's team. Your next one. The average British man spends £13 a year on what?
Treating his wife. Go on, you have that yourself. Go on, you go and spend that. No, I don't want anything back. Off you go.
Is it throwing coins at referees?
You have a go, Vic. Have a go.
Oh, push bike.
That's a brilliant answer. Well done.
Thank you.
Have another go.
Walnuts, I suppose.
Very good answer as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that right? Is it walnuts and push bike?
Your whole body posture there suggests I've got the right answer. You can trust me. No, I'm serious on this one. Yeah.
No,
Is it push bikes?
I can't take all the credit for this. It was Sean.
I'm kind of his manager, really. Trainer, manager. I encourage.
Carer.
Yeah.
No. There's right. Listen. There are how many months in a year? 13. How much for your lodgings? A month? £1? £13. Rent is the answer.
It's just the smug look after the wrong answer.
Is it coconuts? Because I probably buy 5 or 6 coconuts a year. So
you get them cheap.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
You know the coconut shop?
Oh, yeah.
By the station?
Yeah.
Kate Garraway, did you have one final guess from Kate Garraway?
Socks or underwear? They don't ever
That's the
buy
correct
them,
answer.
do they? Really?
Yes, the average British man spends £13 a year on underwear. I was in Marks and Spencer's the other day. I splashed out some lacy knickers. I had to pay for them. So, at the end of that round, I can tell you that Alan, Vic and Sean have 2 points. Kate, Frankie and Dave have 7 points. Time for What's the Poll? I'm going to show you 5 people who were all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me, what's the poll? Here is your first one.
And the relationship between Mary and this dog is sensational to watch. Oh, this is delightful. And it's almost telepathic. She's using mostly just little signals, not commands. Oh, stunning. Wonderful. What a performance.
What poll do you think dogs might have appeared on?
Is this dogs with specs or just dogs in general?
A friend of mine had a dog, and this is true, it's got a lisp, this dog. And when it barks, he goes like this, he goes, "Rouse!" And then it developed a stammer, and it goes, "Rouse!"
The dogs are a man's best friend, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, is it something to do with a poll of best friends who have at one time or another shit in your kitchen?
No. OK, let's have a look at the next person on the poll.
I didn't move! I didn't move!
Athlete John Drummond there getting upset to illustrate the Olympics. What poll do you think might have featured the Olympics and dogs?
Is it things that postmen hate? Because postmen hate dogs, and they hate the Olympics.
Why?
Well, the Olympic Village, they go there, and it's just, you know, Saeed Asu Warawara, and they've got to go and find him, haven't they? You ever seen a postman in Olympic Village? Just...
Dogs are going to be allowed into the Olympics. Swimming.
I'd like to see a 24-hour Vic Reeves news channel.
You're in luck.
Yeah.
I actually thought I was appearing on Eat Out of Tin Cans. Well, we would just have to eat out of tin cans and enjoy it for half an hour. That's why I went on this show.
Let's have a look at the next person on the list.
She knows hubby has to work hard, but if only he could be in punctually sometimes. Ah, there he is now. She's heard it plenty of times before, but she actually believes that stuff about being kept at the office.
No, I won't work too hard. I'll be home as soon as possible. Ah, that was the phone. I must go now. Goodbye, darling.
Mobile phones there. Television companies have been accused of profiting from mobile phone voting. If you want to hear the punchline to that joke, text moron to the number on your screen now. What pole do you think mobile phones, the Olympics and dogs might have appeared on?
I know. David Beckham, he did a telephone advert.
Yeah?
Football is going to be in the Olympics, and
Yeah.
Beckham rides a dog when he comes on the pitch.
It was so good, but he sort of fell down on that third one, I felt. OK, let's have a look at the next person.
Milo! A snake! A snake? Where? In the garden. You didn't touch it, did you? No, I didn't. Oh, good. Where is it now? I don't know. I left Doodles. Doodles? It's probably eaten Doodles.
That was the tweenies.
The tweenies are pretty terrifying. Yeah. They look sort of like a normal family that live under a mobile phone mast.
Children like dogs, the tweenies, the Olympics and mobile phones.
Let's have a look at the next thing on the list.
To be attractive, you just have to know that you are and just be happy with yourself no matter what you look like. And then you'll be attractive because everybody's beautiful.
Paris Hilton there. What pole do you think they all might have appeared on?
I think, is it things that they've got other names for? Like she's got a Paris Hilton, her real name's Reading Travelodge. Olympics, a lot of people just go, Olympics, innit? Can I have the points?
I think Paris Hilton is the big clue here.
So she had sex on the internet, and the tweenies have had sex on the internet.
Is it things people have been searching for on the internet?
Yeah, Frankie Boyle, that's the correct answer. They all appear on a poll of the most searched words on the internet. So, at the end of that round, it is 8 points for Dave's team and 2 points to Sean's team.
Don't worry, Dave.
And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls and surveys. It's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here is your first one. The greatest food innovation of the 20th century.
The spork. You know that plastic? They've made a spoon and a fork as one thing. That's clever, that spork.
I think probably the greatest leap forwards is the Muller fruit corner. That's a fantastic thing because you can have your yoghurt first, then your fruit, or you can have your fruit, then your yoghurt, or you can just eat the fruit, not bother with the yoghurt.
He's got a point.
Or you can eat the yoghurt and just chuck the fruit on a cat or something. And it's just so many options with
Do you write the serving suggestion on the front?
Or a Scotch egg. That's a fantastic invention.
What about the gala pie? It's a similar thing, but square.
Scotch egg, vegetarians can have a Scotch egg, can't they? Because they can throw the meat away and they can eat the egg.
Yeah, and the same with the gala pie.
I'd like it to be the pot noodle. I like pot noodles because it's just pop the kettle on, taste it for 5 days afterwards. Love it.
Do you genuinely eat pot noodles?
Yeah, I watch Diagnosis Murder in the afternoon and eat chicken and mushroom pot noodles.
Have you ever thought about maybe having an affair?
Powdered egg.
Powdered egg?
Don't laugh and don't mock it. Don't you ever mock powdered egg.
I mock powdered egg because it's a very sad story. My grandfather, right, he had powdered egg during the war. He thought it was drugs. He snorted it, right, and he choked on his own omelette.
It's a way of preserving food.
Freezing.
Correct. The greatest food innovation of the 20th century is frozen food.
Yeah!
Rudest people in Europe.
American tourists.
Is it? I think the British, we're the rudest people in Europe because we travel around, we don't learn the language. We don't bother to learn anyone's language. We just put an O on everything. Go, I'll have 3-0, beer-o.
So I don't speak Spanish. What was that? The Brits are actually number 3 on the list of the rudest people in Europe.
Is it Vikings?
Is it Vikings?
Yes.
They never knock, do they?
No.
Straight in.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about Vikings. They never knock.
Is it Scottish people when they're trying to be friendly? Have a drink, Jimmy, you prick.
I have a suspicion it might be either the Visigoths, the Bohemians, or the Vandals. I'm going to go for the Vandals.
Yeah. They're from that area in Europe, yeah.
Germans.
Correct. Yes, the rudest people in Europe are the Germans. Their Butlins is apparently shit. My granddad was telling me about it. He went there in the war. Well, that sound tells me that it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean's team have 5 points, but Dave is the winner with 8 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
On 8 out of 10 Cats. He's not going out, Lee Mack. She's not shutting up, Vanessa Phelps. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, Hollyoaks boy, Matt Littler. Glaswegian Joy, Frankie Boyle. And their team captain, Jason Manford. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr!
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 1 in 4 people think that using an electric toothbrush is lazy? Yeah, what's wrong with traditional foreplay? 62% of Scots spend more than 30 minutes on the phone every day. Hello, it's me again. I'm having another heart attack. And a plastic bag in a landfill site takes 1,000 years to rot away. So, in a sense, it is a bag for life. Take that, M&S. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Jason, Matt, Frankie, what have the nation been talking about this week?
Wimbledon. Oh, they're all there. Hewitt is there, Federer, Murray, the Williams brothers are there. So they're all pretty good. Tim Edmund is doing the commentary for the old Beeb, and it's going to be weird for him staying the full 2 weeks, I think. Do you think halfway through the commentary he's not doing so well, someone just goes, "Come on, Tim!"
Do you watch the Wimbledon?
Yeah, I watched Andy Murray beat the French guy.
I'm quite surprised he beat him and the French guy didn't just surrender after a couple of sets.
Nice.
There's a new word, isn't it? Because it's Henmania, and now they've got Andymonium. And I think, really, it's got Andymonium. I think, really, it should be called Andy Pandemonium, shouldn't it?
He's a right miserable-looking bastard, Murray, as well, isn't he?
Yeah, as opposed to your good self, Frankie.
Not a 21-year-old millionaire who looks like if they let him near the umpire's chair, he'd hang himself off it.
It's so boring, tennis, that the slightest thing, the crowd go mental, like it's the most hilarious, shocking thing they've ever seen. Federer's opponent sat next to him. Did you see that bit? The crowd reacted like he'd picked up a ball boy, swung him round by the ankles and thrown him into the crowd. Why do they throw the sweaty... It's horrible. They throw their sweaty headbands into the... It's horrible. We're in here for about 3 hours, sweaty... Like... Imagine if Vanessa at the end just got her knickers off and went, "Go on!"
The press are obsessed with knickers, aren't they? If you just were going, "God, I can see her knickers. Whoa, I can see her looking knickers," you'd be down as a pervert. You get arrested. The Sun can just go to the tennis and go, "Whoa, look at her knickers. She's got red ones on. Whoa." It's the equivalent of standing at the bottom of the stairs at work, just going, "Oh, I've seen your knickers." For some reason, it's fine.
But don't you think that those sound effects, you know when they go, "Ugh," every time they serve and everything, "Ugh," and if you combine that with porn, where everyone's always going, "Ugh, ugh," don't you think it just puts ordinary people under colossal pressure? Because, like, very often you're being shagged and you don't want to make any noise, you just want to go, oh. You don't always have to go, "Oh," do you? Or you go, "Oh." You just sometimes want to go, and you have to.
Why don't you just get him to shag you and put the tennis on in the background?
Well, let's see how many people are talking about Wimbledon this week. It's the most talked about thing in Great Britain this week. Yes, Wimbledon started this week. Tim Henman is commentating this year, which means the chances of him winning the competition are exactly the same as last year. Sean, Vanessa and Lee, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
There's Nelson Mandela's birthday concerts in Hyde Park, and there's Glastonbury as well. Then everyone's worried about Amy Winehouse. Well, will she be well enough to make it? Her dad, Mitch, says she's got emphysema, which I think, at 24, that must be some kind of record. By the time she's 30, she'll have scurvy and rickets. She'll go in a bath chair with an ear trumpet.
Have you seen the pictures of her this week? She looks like a campaign poster for neglected horses.
The thing they used to do at Glastonbury is they always had... They're a bit ironic, so they'd have someone like Tom Jones on or Shirley Bassey. But it's gone way too ironic this year. And this year they've got Will Young on, Neil Diamond and Shakin' Stevens. It's like a wedding disco. People say, oh, Shakin' Stevens will be brilliant. He won't. He'll be shit, because he's shit.
Would you be tempted to go to Glastonbury?
Yeah, I'm going on to Glastonbury.
You get killed tonight, don't you?
Yeah, 2 hours dead. Feel good.
You should go out to all the stone people at Glastonbury and...
Make yourself white.
Make yourself all white and then just unzip the tent like that and go...
What, do you think Hollyoaks is on a big screen at Glastonbury?
It's no more mental than putting Jay-Z on, is it?
It's Jay-Z.
Is it Jay-Z now?
Yeah, he's in England. It's
Oh,
Jay-Z,
right.
mate. You're over here, you play virus. It's Jay-Z. I did a Reading festival, and all the tents are really close. You can hear the bands, they're not that far away. There was a band on stage when I was on, right, and there was like a sort of thrash metal punk band, and their finale was the lead singer has a shit onto a towel,
Oh, no.
then gets the towel and swings it round, and then throws it into the crowd.
What,
he's nicked your act?
It'd be great if Nelson did that, wouldn't it? You were not expecting that, were you?
Come on, it's a party!
I'm 90! OK, well, let's see if the big concert weekend is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, it's the Glastonbury weekend. Kelly Osbourne is going to be filming a video diary of the shenanigans backstage. I didn't even realise the shenanigans were playing. A concert to celebrate Nelson Mandela's 90th birthday is also happening. Scheduled to perform is Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse has lung damage, but was told it will improve if she gives up drink and drugs. I won't hold my breath. And she can't. They originally thought Amy had TB, which she caught from the badger that lives in her head. Jason, Matt, Frankie, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it Big Brother? I thought the blind guy would have been more entertaining. I wanted to see him take a shit in the diary room and spend 2 hours looking for the flush.
Well, I can tell you Big Brother is not one of the most talked about things this week, but it was the 4th week of Big Brother. Jennifer has warned Big Brother that she's anti-fox hunting and anti-abortion. Well, that's ruined that task. OK, Sean, what else has Britain been talking about this week?
Valerie Singleton.
Yes, Valerie Singleton was at pains to make it clear that anyone who said she'd ever had a lesbian affair was lying because she hadn't. This is a fairly dormant rumour which has now been raked up by Valerie Singleton. So now everyone's saying, is she a lesbian?
It's not a rumour, it's one of the cornerstones of all knowledge. Valerie Singleton, you go, she's a lesbian, it's a fact. You know, and her saying she's not a lesbian has kind of pretty much rocked my world.
Vanessa, let me ask you, as a woman, it's not a terrible thing to be called a lesbian, is it? I mean, it's not, you know, defamation of character. It's not a terrible thing
it's not
to
a
be.
terrible thing.
And then
no.
Chovy
Well, it
being...
depends how you do it. If you go, you're a lesbian. You go, you're a lesbian. You know, that's not nice, is it? It's the way you say it.
Yeah.
Lesbian! Hey. That's nice. Come in! Yeah. Lesbian! Number one. That's not very nice.
In the story, it said that she had sex with Peter Purvis while they were... It's a great name for someone who's having sex. Purvis.
She said that she got it on with Albert Finney. But she said that they never had sex. They, this is the quote, thrashed about a bit on the bed. What does that mean exactly?
I'll show you.
Come on.
That was my penis screaming. I can tell you that Valerie Singleton is not one of the most talked about things this week, but it was in the news. Valerie Singleton denied any lesbian allegations and was so shocked by the rumours that she dropped her pool cue and spilt bitter down the front of her dungarees. What else have the nation been talking about?
Soldiers spotting the UFOs in Shropshire.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I don't know what they're doing in Shropshire. Like, there was a weird sort of Yoda-esque sort of bloke going, alien going, we must see Shrewsbury Town Hall, we must.
What I don't get is one of them described it as a cylindrical object with things protruding out the side, so that's just a plane.
My problem with unidentified flying objects is if they identify it, then it's just a flying object. And if at any point it lands, it's just an object. And then you've just seen an O. Let's see if soldiers spotting UFOs is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, it is. Sneaking in at number 5. This is the story that soldiers spotted UFOs in Market Drayton. The incident is set to be made into a movie entitled The Goose That Flew Over Market Drayton. Fingers on buzzers, what else have people been talking about?
Is it the... well, it's been Gordon Brown, it's his first year in charge, and they brought out an equality bill this week, haven't they?
Yeah.
Labour. And this caused consternation in papers like the Daily Mail and the Express.
They're saying that women will be more equal than men.
Yeah.
The easiest way to explain this to Vanessa is, if
Yes.
I got paid 100 money,
Yes.
then if you did the same job, you would be paid 100 money as well.
Yes. Sounds good to me, mate. Doesn't
Are
it?
you thinking about shopping and cake?
Yes.
Age. They said there's no more age discrimination at work. So they've got to start employing older people at work.
You would hope that there was some sort of cut. Like, I don't want to be watching Babe Station with a 90-year-old. You know what I mean?
Hey, speak for yourself, son.
First thing I want to see gotten rid of with discrimination, with this old people and young people and all like that, is the preferential treatment that old people get on a bus. Because it winds me up. They pay less and they get the best seats.
It's not the best seat, it stinks of piss. I don't trust Brown, mate. He looks terrible, Brown. He looks like a sad face that somebody's drawn onto their scrotum.
True, isn't
Do you
it?
reckon George Bush actually knows who Gordon Brown is? He probably thinks Tony Blair's put on weight and had a fucking stroke.
Such a bad man.
Well, let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, this is the story of the new Equality Bill. It aims to improve the lives of ethnic minorities, women and the elderly. It's been codenamed Project Rusty Lee. Also this week, Gordon Brown has pledged to give the poorest families £200 to help them climb the social ladder. For some, £200 is the difference between living in poverty and living in poverty with a PlayStation. OK, there's one more thing to get. Fingers on buzzers. What else have they...
Is it the football European Championships?
The football?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
It's been weird, the Euros, because it's been weird not being there, isn't it? It's sort of like in the summer when all the other kids are playing outside and you're not allowed out, you've had to go to bed early. You're looking out, you're like, Mum, but Romania's there. You're like, well, I'm not Romania's mum, am I?
Have you been watching them?
I've seen a few of it. My mate's really into the Italian football, so he's always watching it. So I'm upstairs angry, and I can just hear him downstairs cheering. Whee! So, a bit annoying.
I didn't even realise you were gay. Brilliant.
Did you see the Germany-Turkey game?
Yeah.
TV just crashed for about 40 minutes. They just froze the screen and said, sorry, no pictures. There's a thunderstorm in Austria. So we had to listen to the radio commentary through the telly. Well worth the £2 for that high-def telly. So this morning I thought I'll watch it again. So it's on iPlayer. And the BBC have kept the 40 minutes or whatever you can't see on iPlayer. So basically what they're saying is if you missed it the first time, you can miss it again on iPlayer. Making the unmissable missable.
Should we have a look and see if the football's one of the most talked about things this week? Yes, it is. Yes, the European Cup final is on Sunday. England not qualifying means we can now watch games neutrally. Games like Spain versus the Nazis. So at the end of that round, Sean, Lee and Vanessa have 2 points. Jason, Matt and Frankie have 3 points. Our next round is called Pick of the Polls. Sean, what do you fancy answering a question on?
Naomi Campbell.
Lovely Naomi Campbell. OK. This is an audience poll question. Naomi Campbell escaped jail this week after she was accused of another assault. So we polled the studio audience and asked them, would you work for Naomi Campbell?
She's got 200 hours community service because she went mental on a plane, didn't she?
She has, and it's not the first time she's had run-ins with the law.
Yeah, she's done community service before, didn't she, in New York?
Yeah.
Because she hit her assistant with a BlackBerry. And when you first read it, you go, that's not that bad, is it? A pumpkin, I can understand. If she just got a pumpkin and put it on her head like that. Look a bit like you, actually, wouldn't it?
For our Halloween special on this show, I just light a candle in my mouth.
You just blow it and his eyes go out. But she went mental on a plane, didn't she? She went absolutely ballistic.
Well, it was Terminal 5, I believe, had lost her bag.
The first thing she said was, it's because I'm black and famous. And I think you'll find that BA are an equal opportunities bag loser. They don't lose anyone's bags. Doesn't care whether you're prince or pauper.
What do you think of her, Vanessa? Do you like her?
She's not an endearing person. If I were to work for her, I know the role I'd like to fulfil, actually. I wouldn't mind being her Brazilian waxer and pouring molten wax all over her pudenda. I think that would be a nice job.
Well, same here, but for very different reasons. Lee, have you ever had a hissy fit? Like a proper showbiz hissy fit?
No, I'm a very calm and relaxed person, Jimmy. You know that. I take everything in my stride.
Yeah.
Don't fucking interrupt.
Kate Moss, she never does anything like this. You see a picture of her pretty much every day, but you never hear her voice, do you? The reason Kate Moss doesn't speak is she's very beautiful, but actually she talks like this. Hello, I'm Kate Moss. I'm very excited about my new Top Shop range. I designed all the clothes myself.
You have never been so sexy.
Yes.
OK, so what are you saying, Sean? Would our studio audience want to work for Naomi Campbell or not?
No,
Definitely not. OK, I can tell you, you are right. Yes, 75% of our studio audience said they would not work for Naomi Campbell. Naomi remains an important role model for every young, aspiring, total fucking bitch. Jason, what do you fancy answering a question on?
What do you reckon? We'll go speed cameras, I think.
According to statistics, what's the worst invention? Speed cameras or religion?
I think it's got to be speed cameras. It's worse, isn't it? Because speed cameras have made people fly planes into large buildings. That's never happened with religion, has it? Oh, no, it's the other way round. Religion's the worst.
Near me, there's a school. You can only go 20 mile an hour all the time. Where I think what they should do is say it's 20 mile an hour between 8 o'clock and 9:30, and then between 3 o'clock and about 5 o'clock. And that way, that will stop kids wagging school. You know, if for the rest of the time you're allowed to do 100, right? Get in school, you little shit, right? You know.
The 20 mile an hour speed limit around a school encourages lecturing, doesn't it? Nice and slow. If you hit me at 30, there's an 80% chance I'll live, and if you drive past me at 20, there's an 80% chance you'll go to prison.
OK, so what are you going to go with?
You're dead, so you know there's another side. Is there a Hollyoaks heaven?
No.
No, where
called a bill.
OK, so what are you going to go with?
Must be religion, must be.
Religion? Religion? We're going to go religion.
I can tell you, speed cameras are worse than religion. 15% of people thought speed cameras were the worst thing ever invented. Only 3% of people thought religion was the worst thing ever. The next round is Believe It or Not. In this round, I give the panellists a simple statement. All they have to do is decide whether they think it's true or false. Let's have a look at a clip to illustrate their statistic.
People think that reception jobs are boring, but it's what you make the job. Good afternoon, Rich. Hello, Rob. How are you?
I've been phoning for hours.
So sweetie. The way I get rid of pent-up pressure is by laughing. And joking with people, because you certainly don't want to cry.
Move the car park, please. No.
You want to look professional on reception. I used to do a chicken over the tannoy. But I was banned from doing it. Everyone thinks I'm mad here anyway.
Charlotte, please.
Oh, you want to speak to Charlotte? Well, I don't know whether I want to put you through. Oh, I'm real nasty. I'll be through. Hold on. Would the owner of the blue Escort the worst job? Oh, well, I tell you what, I wouldn't like to be the Prime Minister.
I wouldn't want to be the Prime Minister. Well, love, you are in luck.
If I went into somewhere and I went, oh, can I get the key for that? And they went, yeah, I'd just go...
The related statistic from that, 22% of receptionists admit they've taken revenge by tampering with their boss's coffee. Is that true or false?
Where does tampering... You know, what's the difference between tampering and poisoning? Like, for example, did the Kremlin tamper with Litvinenko sushi? They poisoned it.
I think the line is when you get your cup of coffee, you go, or you get your cup of coffee and you go,
What I would do for revenge is I'd get the mug, right? I wouldn't tamper with the coffee, right? But I'd just every day, I'd just tap the handle with like a little toffee hammer or something. And over the course of a couple of years, it would loosen, and one day they'd pick it up, and then I'd go, yes.
OK, true or false?
I think it's false. I think it's less than that.
You think?
I think it's true, I would.
OK, we'll go with true.
I reckon,
True.
yeah.
False. We think it's false.
You're overruling. OK, you're going false. I can tell you the answer is false. Yeah. Yes, only 5% of receptionists have taken revenge by tampering with their boss's coffee. They say revenge is best served cold and revenge is sweet. So really what they're saying is revenge is ice cream. So at the end of that round, it's 4 points for Sean's team and 4 points for Jason's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your first one. Worst thing to happen at a wedding.
Is it saving your brother's life, but then getting run over in the process and then dying in OB's arms?
Because you died at a wedding.
That's exactly what happens, yeah.
So you've been written out of this thing? Is that what's happened? What do they say?
No, they're keeping him in after he's died, Jimmy. he's playing a coffee table for the next 6 years.
I am going back, though. I'm going back to direct it.
Did they direct Hollyoaks? Yeah. Really? I thought it was just done with CCTV cameras. What would make you cry at a wedding?
Is it when the first song they play is I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For?
I reckon if the bride gets taken off by an eagle, and then the church is getting smaller and smaller, and then,
I'll give you a clue. It would make the bride cry.
The groom was set with a chief bridesmaid.
Correct. That's the right answer.
There we go.
Yes, the worst thing that can happen at a wedding is the groom goes off with a bridesmaid. Of course, the biggest wedding of the year was Wayne and Colleen's. Colleen warned the stag party not to play any pranks on Wayne that would ruin the wedding photos. I'm afraid to say, Colleen, that ship has sailed. Britain's favourite word.
Knockers, fanny, tits, flange. I wanted to get in before Frankie.
So it's our favourite receptionist from earlier's back.
I think it's gusset. It's saucy, but it's not revolting.
Is this what you put in the phone cards? Saucy but not revolting,
Yes,
gusset.
gusset.
It's derived from the Latin.
bollocks. That's Latin, isn't it? Bollocks.
Is it?
Old Latin, yeah.
Old Latin, yeah, from the East End of Lat. It describes a stupid or foolish person.
Knobhead.
Begins with an N.
Nincompoop.
Right answer. Yes, Britain's favourite word is nincompoop. Number 3 on the list is mum, as in, I fucked your mum, you nincompoop. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Lee and Vanessa have 5 points, Jason, Frankie and Matt have 5 points. It's a dead heat. Everyone's a winner. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
is more, it's Les Dennis. Here's the news. It's Krishnan Guru Murthy. And their captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, from Big Brother, it's Chantel. Taking the high road, Frankie Boyle. And their captain, Dave Spikey. Now, here's your host, Jimmy Carr.
Well, thanks very much. Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 14% of cat owners think their cat is more important than their job? And the thing is, if they think that, they're probably right. Most deaths in hospitals are between the hours of 3 and 4 in the afternoon. All I'm saying is, it's only a countdown conundrum. Don't have a stroke about it. And the average man will spend 2,965 hours shaving during his lifetime. It's the bit round the balls that takes the time. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the public's top 5 most popular talking points. Krishnan, Sean and Les, what have the nation been talking about this week?
I think definitely the ongoing Tessa Jowell story. She's left her husband now, or separated from him.
Yeah, I think you can be a bit hard on Tessa Jowell, though, because, I mean, the point is that she didn't know about the gift, and she didn't know that her mortgage had been paid off, and she didn't actually know she was married to David Mills until she read about it in the Sunday Times.
The thing is that, I mean, some people say that did they split up genuinely, or was it an attempt to save her career? Apparently, what really tipped the balance was when she found out for the last 10 years he hasn't been sending off the pools coupons. He's been pocketing the money.
He's obsessed with money, isn't he? Because he's married a woman called Tessa.
Let's do this!
Aren't we asking quite a lot of our politicians to actually notice £350,000 in their bank account?
For some of us, it's a lot of money. Channel 4 News, they paid a big bucks.
But as relationship blunders go, it's quite serious, isn't it? It's not like he's come home pissed and had a slash in the wardrobe.
Sean?
You know, you could get over that. He's ruined her career. You know, that's quite a serious thing to do, isn't it? Ruin someone's career. You can't make that up with, you know, breakfast in bed.
Politicians ruin their own careers by going on Big Brother.
Would you like me to be the cat?
Yeah, okay.
Tonight's going to be a very different kind of 8 out of 10 Cats. Did you like the fellow? Did you like George Galloway?
At first, I thought he was like really crafty, he had like shifty eyes and everything, but he completely changed my mind about him by cheating and lying, and then I realised that from my gut instinct he was a very horrible man. And do you know what?
So sorry, at first you thought he had shifty eyes, and then you realised he was horrible. He really changed your mind, yeah, didn't he?
I realised he was horrible, then I realised that he was actually all right, but he weren't all right, because he turned out that he was actually horrible.
When someone changes your mind, you've got to end up in a different place than when you started. That's the whole nature of changing one's mind.
Do you know what the funny thing is? I was on a shoot today, right, and I come out, right, on... no,
I'm living the dream.
I am living the dream. No, right, I am living the dream, but I walked out, right, on a street, a London street, with no one else around, and who do I bump into?
Was it Batman?
No, George Galloway.
Yeah, because he's following you. Was he in the back of a van with some binoculars? Oh, what a coincidence, Chantel.
How was it when you bumped into George, then? Did you...
It's just, he asked me how my nan was, which was the first question that came out of his mouth.
How was your nan?
My nan's fine.
Are you sure that isn't just a slang expression he uses?
How's your nan?
There's some place they call it a pitter.
Well, let's have a look if Tessa Jowell is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, it is. Dave, your team, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it the Oscars? I liked Reese Witherspoon saying that she dedicated the whole thing to all the men that had ever dumped her. And you think, well, they don't care, do they? They're all sitting in the pub going, I've shagged that Oscar winner. I mean, I was lying about Hal Berry, but I have shagged this one.
The thing is that you've got Reese Witherspoon, who earns $28 million a film. She's got all those pubs, right? She gets... You know, and they're packed.
You try and get served on a Friday.
Crash beat Brokeback Mountain, didn't it?
It was controversial, though, wasn't it? I mean, I thought those guys in Brokeback Mountain were shafted.
I think the best thing about watching the Oscars is actually watching the nominees sit there when the winner's announced. Because I've been there. Not actually at the Oscars,
Not the Oscars,
but, you
no.
know.
Have you never been to the Oscars?
No, the Challenge Game Show Awards. I've sat there, and you sit there with the camera on you.
Probably a throwaway camera, isn't it?
You have to sit and smile for it, though.
Let's have a look and see whether the Oscars were one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, they were. 47% of you were talking about the Oscars. It was a vintage year, with films nominated dealing with such controversial issues as racism, homosexuality, gender reassignment and suicide bombers. Britain won an Oscar for a film about a plasticine dog that likes cheese. What else have the nation been talking about?
Is it Kate Moss? One of her inner sanctum. She said when she went to South Africa, she stayed at Nelson Mandela's house, which was in, she took cocaine at Nelson Mandela's house.
Isn't that where Del Boy lives?
That's probably what's happened.
Yeah.
There's been a mix-up.
Yeah.
She was in Peckham buying gear.
I just like the idea that he would have to go back to jail because they found a load of coke in his toilet. A bit unfair, wouldn't it? Come on, Nelson, get back in.
Dave, have you been following the Kate Moss
Well,
thing?
yeah. Listen, at some party, she snorted a line up off the carpet. And it must be like when you're hoovering at home, everybody pick your feet up, like that. Underneath it, like that. Well, she does this advert now. She's on some advert on the television for makeup. She always pops up on that. And she gets out of this car in the morning. It's, how does she look so lively and fresh-faced? And how? Where's that energy come from?
Bolivia.
Bolivia, probably, yeah.
I can tell you that Kate Moss wasn't one of the most talked about things this week. In a recent interview, Kate Moss complained of memory loss. She said, "Yeah, it's terrible. I get these flashes of bright lights and I find myself standing around doing nothing in my pants." That's your job, love. You're a model. Dave, over to you.
Is it Chico being #1 and generally a Muppet? He's a sort of manufactured pop act who they've manufactured by melting down Peter Andre and a couple of spaniels.
So could you get off the fence? Tell me what you think of him.
I don't know, he's a sort of goat-herding anomaly from Morocco. The last time you'll have had a proper goat herder on the top of the pops will have been as part of Freddie Mercury's Rider.
Excellent. What do you think of him, Chantal? Do you like him?
Who are we talking about?
We were talking about Chico. He's
Oh, Chico.
he's a minor celebrity of no consequence. Well, let's have a look and see whether Chico is one of the top stories this week. Yes, it was. Everyone, it seems, has been talking about Chico reaching #1. Chico's real name is Yusuf Slimani. But if you were to shout, "It's Yusuf Slimani time" on a plane, you'd be wrestled to the ground and someone would take your shoes off. OK, fingers on buzzers. What else have the nation been talking about this week?
Have they been talking about Tony Blair's great revelation that he waits for God to judge him on the war in Iraq?
On Parkinson?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you
yeah.
see it?
Yeah, I did, yeah. It's quite outrageous, really, wasn't it? I hope for his sake God's not called Allah, because I reckon he's knackered. The first thing is, what's he doing on Parkinson? That is the softest ride you can get. I mean, Parkinson might as well give you a foot massage and a happy finish. I chat you long time. If Michael Parkinson asked you a question and you told him to piss off, he would.
If God was really judging Blair, he'd have made him appear on Davina.
And the other thing I thought in that interview was amazing was when Michael Parkinson said, what's your special relationship with George Bush? He goes, what I like about George is when he says something, when he says he can do something, he does it. You think, so he's the political equivalent of Ron Seal, basically. I said something and I does it.
Well, let's have a look and see whether Tony Blair is one of the top 5 talked about things this week. Yes, it is. Yes, Yes, everyone's been talking about the fact that Tony Blair was on Parkinson justifying his decision to go to war. Next week, Saddam Hussein is giving his side of the story on Des and Mal. OK, there's one more thing to get. Fingers on buzzers. What else have people been talking about?
Is it the story that if you take your kids on holiday out of term time, you can go to prison? The thing is, if you go on holiday and leave your kids in school, you're even more trouble. Kids, they don't like that at all. That's very bad.
Yeah,
and if you stay at home, and send your kids on holiday, especially if it's somewhere like Vietnam.
Christian, you've got kids. Would you take them on holiday during term time?
I would.
Yeah, but what if you're in prison and someone says, "What are you in for, Christian?" Tuscany in March. Yeah, couldn't help myself.
I reckon you'd be very respected by the other prisoners.
I took an Alton Towers. I'm a wrong un.
Let's have a look and see whether taking your kids on holiday during term time is one of the most talked about things. Yes, it was. Yes, this week it was ruled that children aren't allowed to go on holiday in term time. The offending parents face jail. Imagine being locked up in a cramped cell. No windows, terrible food, people crying and vomiting. And then when you get back from your easy cruise, you face prison. Well, at the end of that round, I can tell you that Sean, Les and Christian have 3 points, Dave, Chantal and Frankie have 2 points. The next round is called The Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Here's your first question. 25% of women pretend to be pleased when what?
They never, ever are. I mean, sorry,
Everything all right at home?
Is it when their husband brings them flowers from the garage?
Do you get annoyed at that?
Pardon?
Flowers from the garage?
I've never had flowers from the garage.
Off a lamppost, then.
That's just lazy, isn't it?
It's just lazy.
It's one of the sins, yes, lady. When their husbands get their photos published in Reader's Wives. Oh, great. Brilliant. Oh, they accepted them. Brilliant. Well, hold on, they got the town wrong. We're not from Doncaster.
No.
That's happened to Dave, isn't it? He wouldn't put Charlie on it. I've seen you! The black mark on it. I recognise that silver bonce anywhere.
I'll give you a clue. The answer is related to gift giving. Something else you buy a lady. What else do you buy ladies?
Underwear.
Underwear.
Correct.
Lingerie.
Well done. OK, 80% of Brits think monkeys should not what?
80% of Brits think monkeys should not go near Pete Burns.
No, because he'll kill him.
He'll kill them.
Make a coat out of them.
Oh yes, he had his monkey coat. I'd like to have seen this coat. Did he wear it?
Yeah, he wore it a lot, yeah.
Was it all the faces? Because I'd love that, a coat just made out of monkey faces. That would really freak people out at night, wouldn't it? You just step into the light. Hello. You never been to Cheshire Zoo where they mix the fun fair and the zoo? I went there and I was going, and the roller coaster goes over the gorilla's cage. And I swear, as I was going over, one of the gorillas looked up and just saluted me. Like, you know, for my evolutionary superiority. He's waiting for a go on a tyre. I'm in a magic mouse going, woo! You beat me.
Probably should not be kept as pets or something like that, or not be kept in cages or...
That is the right answer.
There you go.
Thanks, Mikey. Well done. 80% of Brits think monkeys should not be kept as pets, which is fair enough, because although it would be fun to have a monkey around, you get very emotionally attached, and when it dies, it's heartbreaking. Also, you ever tried to flush a monkey?
My mum had a monkey as a pet, but it tore up their house in India, and so she had to kill it.
Have you got any more heartwarming stories of your youth?
She didn't have to kill it like that, though, did she?
I think they just...
How did she kill it?
No, she didn't kill it. That was a joke. I think she just got rid of it.
No, I'm with you. I think she did kill it.
Yeah, I think she killed it.
He's trying to cover up for his mum.
Yeah.
Your mum killed a monkey. Your mum killed a monkey. So at the end of that round, it's 4 points for Sean's team and 5 points for Dave's team. The next round is called Believe It or Not. In this round, I'll give the panellists a simple statement. All they have to do is decide whether they think it's true or false. Sean, Les and Christian, have a look at this clip to illustrate your statistic.
Fuck off! That's what you can do if you want to do. Look, I'm down bloody here and no fucking don't bloody come down bloody like a bloody press friend of I fuck asked you to come in and have a cup of tea and you're telling me what the fuck. Jesus Christ couldn't tell me what to fucking do, never mind you.
Sean's dad there.
I like the idea that he's going towards Shane Ritchie doing a Daz advert. I'll give you 2 for this.
OK, here is your related statistic. Britain is the angriest nation in Europe. True or false?
How would you measure who's angrier than who? If you took the Scots out, we'd probably be all right.
I don't know. I think English football fans are the only people who, when they visit another country, the police there have to go into special training weeks. And you know that every time there's like a tournament in Spain or something, the local police are all in a field beating cows to death with a truncheon. Get some practice in.
Yeah, but Scotland, I went to Scotland once when all the rugby was on, and all there was like fat men with no tops on kicking each other in the street.
That was our Mardi Gras.
We can't be the angriest nation. I mean, we get angry, but we just get quite vexed, don't we? We never follow it through. If you're on the phone to somebody getting really, really annoyed on the phone, our idea of getting angry is getting angry when you've hung up. And then you go, yeah, right, yeah, no, you see, you're up, yeah, OK, right, oh, fair enough, yeah. You wanker!
People argue with me, they say I'm Keith Chegwin, and I say, no, I'm not. And they say, yes, you are. And they row with me. I'm not Keith Chegwin, you bloody are. I'm Les Dennis, don't be ridiculous, he's dead. Actually, had somebody say that to me.
Bless him.
Can we just get on with this?
He looked at you like you were a young monkey. Like he was just going to rip you apart like a chicken wing.
That looks like...
That's me after meeting your mum. Britain is the angriest nation in Europe. True or false? What do you think, Sean?
No, it's false. It's the Swiss. They're livid.
You're going for false?
It's false.
False.
You are right. I can tell you that the answer is false. Britain is Europe's second most angry country after Portugal. Yeah. Which means that Portugal go on to meet Iran in the final. Dave, Chantal and Frankie, let's have a look at a clip to illustrate your statistic.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop.
Danke.
Bitte sehr.
I know what that is. Wasn't that the day that you visited Scotland?
Well, those footballers, they love a sail. OK, your related statistic is 12% of British men admit having been reduced to tears during a shopping trip. True or false?
I only cried once, and it's when I went to DFS and bought a sofa full price.
The one day of the year.
I've been very upset by stuff I've bought. I fell out with this girlfriend of mine because you know, she's getting really upset because she thinks there's a big difference between, like, semi-skimmed and banana-flavoured milk. It's milk! Come on! It's just nitpicking.
I've been in a supermarket and people come and say, what are you doing here? You know, and I'm like, well, I'm doing my shopping. Every now and again, I've got to eat. It's kind of like they think there's a celebrity Asda somewhere, you know, that we all go to.
There is actually, Les. You haven't been invited.
That was nice, the little showbiz, yeah. OK, so 12% of British men admit having been reduced to tears during a shopping trip. True or false? What do you think?
We all think it's true.
You think it's true? Well, I'm afraid you're wrong. Actually, just 3% of men have broken down and cried during a shopping trip. In their defence, they were shopping for their wife's coffin. It's the one she would have wanted. What, the first one you saw? Yeah. So at the end of that round, it's 5 points for Sean Seaman, 5 points for Dave's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give our teams a series of opinion polls, and all they have to do is buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here is your first one. Most entertaining moment of 2005.
For me, it was the woman who had her arm bitten off by a lion. See that? Oh. She was feeding this lion a chicken sandwich, and it took her arm off. Oh, that's funny, that, isn't it? That's got to be... Well, I mean, no, because she's English, so what did she do? Because you know, if you're English and you have an accident, your biggest worry is, has anybody seen you? Isn't it like, you know, if you walk into a lamppost when you're going down the street, you might have a hairline fracture of your skull, but has anybody seen you? There's blood coming out your ears, but no, I'm all right, I'm all right. And I'm just wondering whether she went, come on, oh, shit. And everybody's like, are you all right? Yeah. What am I like?
Well, Chantal, any idea? What was your best moment of 2005?
When I bought a really nice pink dress that I wanted for ages.
Me too! Most entertaining moment of 2005?
Give us a clue.
Well, OK, the clue is it's a British poll and it's a sports-related thing.
Is it the Ashes?
Correct. Yes, the most entertaining moment of 2005 was England winning the Ashes. I remember the moment we won. I was just getting up to turn off the telly. OK, most common way people mistreat pet rabbits.
I'll tell you something you could do with rabbits. It's cruel, but it's not terminal. What you do is you get the rabbit, it gets ears, and you tie the ears to the hands of a clock. And so at midday, everything's fine. But as the day goes on... a bit tricky. And then around about 6:30...
Did you learn that off his mum?
Is it chopping its foot off for luck?
Is it taking it greyhound racing?
That would be brilliant to throw one in, though, wouldn't it? A little fat one.
Run, rabbit!
I don't know, Jimmy, actually.
Tell them they're adopted.
No, the most common way people mistreat pet rabbits is not giving them clean water. It's actually very important. I recently gave my pet rabbit a nice hot bath with some onions, garlic and dumplings. Dumplings is the name of my guinea pig. Right, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the game, which means the final scores are Sean, Les and Krishnan have 8 points, Dave, Chantal and Frankie have 5 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.